Hi class, welcome to our week 1 presentation for small business management class. This week we get to concentrate on idea generation for a business idea that you will use for your business plan throughout the course. This class is small business management, but it does have an entrepreneurship focus, meaning that we will be completing a business plan and learning about small business at the same time in the course. Some of you may be thinking, hey, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. That's okay, because we will help you come up with a business idea for a business plan as well. Some of you may have a business idea already in mind and are ready to go for your business plan this term. If you're not, though, we will definitely have this time this first week to come up with an idea for you to use for a business plan. Some starting points, just to get your idea generation going. We have some links here to some business websites. There's lots of interesting, neat information at these websites. I'm going to go ahead and click on this website here, this entrepreneur website. And we will look at this here. Okay, so we have, this is entrepreneur website. You can see it's got articles about the current business environment, and it's got some, the stock exchange indexes and things here. You can see here, there's an article, how a business built on laser tag bowling and arcade games pivoted to virtual. Obviously, with our COVID-19 business environment here, you can see that pivoting to virtual has been the case for many businesses. So there's an article there. So you can just kind of see there's interesting, pertinent business articles to today's times. I'm going to go ahead and share another link with you, and that would be the SBA.gov, which is the Small Business Administration. We will use the Small Business Administration website throughout this course. They have a lot of really neat resources that small businesses can use. You can see here, they give guidance and they have some loan resources for COVID-19, but they also have other resources that are useful for businesses. I'm going to go ahead and click the search option here, and I'm going to type in business plans. There we go. And you can see here, if you click there, they have some guidance on writing business plans. Now, we will guide you through writing your business plan in this course. So don't feel like you need to be an expert on writing business plans, that we will go through this step by step in the course. You can see here, I went ahead and scrolled down to the traditional business plan format, and they tell you all about the business plan. So if you're curious what all is in a business plan, this kind of gives a good idea for you. This week here in our course, we're going to be working on the company description. So you will need to come up with a business that you want to write a business plan for, and you will write up a description. In the assignment area, I have more details on what to put in that company description. But that's the portion of the business plan we will be working on this week, is that there. The executive summary is usually first in a business plan, but it's easier to write that at the end because it's kind of a summary of all of the parts. And so we are going to start off with writing a company description, but you can see some of these other parts of the business plan, and we will be working on those different parts of the business plan throughout the course. So you can see that's just a really neat resource there. I'm going to go ahead and share back to the presentation here. So again, these are web links that you can use throughout the course that you may find helpful in the various portions of the course and when you're compiling your business plan. All right, so let's look at, again, idea generation if you don't have a business picked out yet for your business plan. And even if you do, this might generate some further ideas. There's 3 doorways to entrepreneurship, and these are on page 7 in your textbook. Keep in mind that if you don't have your textbook yet, you still want to go ahead and work on all of the class items this week. You should be able to accomplish them with your textbook. Please do try to get a textbook as soon as you can, though. All right, so the 3 doorways from page 7 in your text, one doorway is buying an ongoing business. You could purchase an ongoing business and you might still need a business plan for that. Well, you should do a business plan for that. So that's one choice. I had a student in a previous class that was planning on purchasing a business from a couple that was retiring. And so she made her business plan based on that business. You could also do a business plan for maybe the business you're already working at. Even though it's already in business, the process of going through the business plan steps will help you learn more about that business and maybe will help you encourage management, maybe help the business grow or improve. So you can choose a current business. Again, it will be a little bit different because it's already in business, but you'll follow the same steps. Or you could buy an ongoing business and do a plan for that. Doorway 2, you could buy a franchise. That would be like buying a Domino's pizza franchise, for instance, or a McDonald's or a Wendy's franchise, or a Human Being franchise, or a UPS store franchise. Those are all examples of franchises. And with those, it is a new business to you, but it has kind of a business model already in place. So you will still do a business plan, but a lot of the product and marketing is already in place for you. Doorway 3 is starting a new business. And many of you here will choose doorway 3, which is starting a new business from scratch, where it is, you starting from, step 1 of the business. And we will talk about that as well. So just some different options there. If you're planning on starting a brand new business and you don't have any ideas yet, again, we will get some chance to generate some ideas in these next slides here. What type of entrepreneur do you want to be? This will also help you determine the type of business that you want to do a business plan for. This is discussed on page 9 in your text. 1 is a lifestyle entrepreneur. And this is where a lot of us will fall. This is where we want to make a living and satisfy personal needs. It's where we want to make a living off of our business, and satisfying personal needs means that it is something we enjoy, or it means it satisfies us because we have a social cause that we're meeting, and it betters our life in those ways. This is versus an empire builder entrepreneur. An empire builder is building an empire, for instance. They are what they call balance sheet affluent because they're obtaining more and more business assets. An example of that could be, let's say we start a Domino's franchise in Warrenton. Well, I happen to know it's the same person that owns the one in Astoria that just opened. And then if he was the one that opened the one in Seaside, and he could open one in another town, and that would then build that franchise and an empire because he would have several different franchises. In this case, you're building up all these different franchises and buying up assets to build these, but you can't always liquidate super quickly, and your purpose of them isn't to sell them off, it's to build an empire. Our last type of entrepreneur here is what's called a serial entrepreneur, and a serial entrepreneur is constantly looking for new projects. They're looking to sell their business that they build up or sell the product that they invented, and then to move on to another type of business or another type of product. My favorite show that I talk about in class is Shark Tank. And on that show, they bring inventions to the sharks to see if they want to invest in their inventions or their business concepts. And some of them, the sharks will just buy it straight out from them. A lot of them are invested in their project and they don't want to be that serial entrepreneur. They want to stay with their one project and be the lifestyle entrepreneur. But others will sell off their project or their product, and then they can move to the next product. One example was a guy, I believe he invented the rollerblades, and those were very popular and made a lot of money. And that's what he has done with his life, is he's gone on to invent other cool entertainment type products like that. The one he had on Shark Tank last wasn't very good, but again, that was his life, was to keep inventing these different products and selling them off to investors. So those types of decisions of what type of entrepreneur you want to be can lead to how you decide on which type of business you're going to write a business plan for in this class, or potentially start in the future. Again, even if you're not planning on starting a business in the future, we can learn a lot about small business and business in general in the steps of putting together a plan. The other thing you'll find with a business plan is you might find that you'll come up with what they call a side gig. And that's something you can do on the side to earn extra money and is still your business, but you might still fully be employed elsewhere. All right, a place to generate some ideas for you is page 13 in your text. There's this idea of an idea map. I'll let you look into that on your own. For me, I'm going to go over some examples here. And specifically, I'm going to look at 3 different areas that you could decide to start a business. One is manufacturing. That's where you create your own product. You actually produce and create your own product. Another area that you might choose to have a business is resale. That's where you resell an already made product. An example of that is you buy a bunch of a product from a wholesaler, for instance, and maybe you resell it on Amazon, or you resell it at Sunday Market, or you resell it at a store front. So that is resale. Or are you going to look into providing a service? Maybe you can be a consultant or a teacher or an accountant or a lawyer. Those are all examples of services that you could have a business plan from. And then there can obviously also be items that are a mix of some of these. For example, selling eggs. Eggs aren't really something you manufacture because the chicken is actually laying the egg. But it's also not resale because you're not buying it from a wholesaler and selling it. It's being produced from the chicken. But in a way, it's kind of a service because you are having to go out and, take care of the chickens so they produce and, collecting the eggs. So that's an example of maybe a mix. So let's look at manufacturing examples first. And I want to show you a few examples here to kind of get the ideas flowing and, have you thinking about some different ideas you might want to use for your product or service for your project. So the first one I'm going to start with is ice chips. And for this, I have a clip I'm going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and share that with you. On here. And here we go. Let me go ahead and click on here.
In the competitive candy and mint world, xylitol is the hottest alternative sweetener going. Ice
There we
chips
go.
are the yummiest, healthiest xylitol candy on the market. Most sugar-free candy and healthy candy taste like petrified flour. But our candy comes in 17 exciting flavors, is zesty, stimulating, and actually good for adults and children. It's true.
Okay, so that is one example of a product where they created the product on their own. They actually came up with the recipe and started producing it out of their garage. Go ahead and watch the rest of that clip on your own when you get a chance. I'm posting this PowerPoint presentation with all of the links into our course. Another thing to look at is some of the most successful Shark Tank products. So the ice chips were on Shark Tank. Lots of other products that you see nowadays have also been on Shark Tank. I'm going to go ahead and click on a list here of 27 of the most successful items from Shark Tank from 2019. And here, I want you to read through this on your own. There's lots of really fun ideas and things that were on Shark Tank here. This Ring video doorbell is kind of a popular thing nowadays. I've seen some folks that have this doorbell nowadays. And it's got kind of an update and some video clips if you're interested in seeing this. And it says that this has been the most successful product on Shark Tank history. Interesting. And there's some other products on here. And again, it's really kind of neat to see some of these different products and updates and just variety of things that people have come up with. So if you're trying to come up with a product or an idea, you might give these a look. They're also just quite interesting. The other thing is a lot of these show like them pitching their product. That will help you come up with ideas on how you are going to present your product in a way that makes it attractive to people that may want to purchase it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you that. I don't think my screen was sharing a minute ago. So this is what I was talking about with the video Ring doorbell being the most popular Shark Tank product and the scroll through of the list here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the presentation we had. And I'm going to play a video for you. And this video here is a video I made of products that I own that were on Shark Tank. So when you look through that list of 27 most successful products, I found that around my house, I owned quite a few of them. So I'm just showing those to you here. I'll quickly show that video here.
I'd like to show you some of the products that I purchased that were featured on Shark Tank. One is the Tipsy Elk sweater that I got off of Shark Tank that you'll see in the top products of 2019 from Shark Tank. Another is Ice Chips. They're a local company here in Washington, Yale, Washington. And those are pretty yummy. I would have to sample in class, but for online restaurant that won't work. And finally, we have the Simply Fit board, also one of the top products on Shark Tank. And I also purchased this for my indoor fitness during the pandemic.
All right, so those are just some of the products from the most successful Shark Tank products that I have at home. Some other examples of products that people have made on their own that they have formed their own businesses from. I found some on Etsy. So I'm going to go ahead and share those. Let me make sure that I'm sharing my screen with you. There we go. And with this one, we have there's soap that they made. This may generate ideas for you. Maybe you make soap, maybe you make candles, maybe you make jewelry, maybe knit hats, crochet scarves. Those are all examples of ideas. Your business idea here doesn't have to be something super huge and complicated. It could be that you're going to be selling, you know, something such as soap that you make. Another example that I like to show off of Etsy, I'm going to go ahead and click there. Let me make sure I'm sharing that screen with you all. Here we go. This is Print Joy. I bought some items off here for my family to use during Christmas. We played some Christmas games, and this person used their graphic design knowledge and created these attractive looking games that you can print out. And so they maybe aren't as crafty, but they're good at graphic design, and they've come up with these games that you print off and pay for. And look at that, how many people it looks like they have sold some of these to. So that's another example of an Etsy product. Let me go ahead and share another Etsy product, which is some art print items. I'll go ahead and make sure I'm sharing that screen with you. This one I found interesting because I had a student in a past class. He was going to do something similar to this, where he had hired an artist to make a piece of art, and he was going to reproduce it as prints on t-shirts and canvas and bags and things like that. And that's kind of what this person has done here. They got this piece of art, which is this runner here, and you can choose to have it on canvas or as a print in all different sizes here. And so this is a neat example of, if you were an artist, maybe you could come up with something like this, or you could do like the student I had that paid the artist for the design and then created the design on the items that they were reselling. So those are all just some examples. I suggest you come up with examples that are things that you would enjoy, that you are passionate about. Some resale examples. That's where you're buying products from, say, a wholesaler, and you're reselling. I'm going to use fish sticks as my example. That's a brand new fish market in Warrenton. I use this example because they just opened, so they're just a new business. I'm going to go ahead and go to their website. Let me share that website with you. And on their website here, you can see it's a fish sticks market. It's in Warrenton, and I'm going to go to their menu. You can see their products here. They are a reseller where they buy their fish from someone else. So they buy it from Ocean Beauty, which is a wholesaler in Astoria, or they buy from Pacific Seafoods, or they buy directly from fishermen, and they resell them in their market. And so that's an example of a reseller there. Another example of resale is Ice Chips franchise. So what I showed with Ice Chips was the gals that invented it and sold it as their company. They also came up with a way for people to franchise. So I'll go ahead and show you a clip here. And let me make sure I'm sharing that clip. There we go. We should have it here.
Hi there, I'm Charlotte. And I'm Beth. And we're the Ice Chips Grannies. Did you know ice chips are safe and healthy for you? They're safe and healthy for kids too. Ice chips.
All right, I ask that you watch the rest of that video on your own. The link's in the PowerPoint presentation here. But you can see this is a pop-up shop. You can have your own ice chips franchise. And what they do is they give you the items that you need to have a booth, a bunch of ice chips to sell, and the posters and the tablecloth and such. And you can set up a booth at like the Sunday market or at a craft fair, or a show of that type. It's meant to be a pop-up shop. You don't have to have the investment of a store. You can have a pop-up shop. And so they came up with this idea that you could franchise ice chips. Kind of a unique idea for reselling. Another fun idea that I wanted to show you of reselling items, which this is actually more of a mix because it was his own creation a little bit, but he is selling items that he purchased and put his design on. And for this, I'm going to show you. This kid here is a high school student who, while he was doing online school, came up with his own business. And it's called the University of Introverts. So let me make sure I share that with you. There we go. Here we are. You can see he took his artwork, so kind of like the runner artwork. He made his own artwork here, artwork/logo, and he printed it on all kinds of items: bags, aprons, puzzle, jacket, luggage tag, you name it, mouse pad, drawstring bag, t-shirts, ornament, laptop sleeve. And you can buy any of these types of items. So he didn't actually produce the apron, but he did produce the logo that's going on the apron. And it's kind of this unique logo that those of us that are introverts, might enjoy having. So that's, he did this in his spare time, and he's a high school kid. And this just goes to show you don't have to have this huge, long, involved idea to start up even just a little store like this one. Okay, so some services examples I want to show you. There we go. Moha's bookkeeping. That's going to be my example throughout this course. I post an example post in the discussions each week to help get you started each week. And I'm using my sample company of Moha's Bookkeeping. That is a bookkeeping service, and it is a service. I modeled this after Moha's Bookkeeping that I started when I was a few years ago to do bookkeeping for clients. Another example of a service is I'm going to show you my cousin's engineering consulting. She has a company called White Pelican Engineering. So I'll go ahead and show you her website here. There we are. And you can see here, she does different types of engineering. And if you go to our website and go to services, it'll show you a little more specific in the services that she offers. So this is her business. She consults on mostly water type issues like stormwater for companies that need to watch their water output, input, pollution, etc. All right, I'm not an engineer, so I'm not totally as knowledgeable on her services. Another example is music. A lot of us like music. You might be able to offer lessons. Here's an example of a friend of mine who lives in Portland. So let me show you his website here. He's a musician. And if you scroll down on his website, he does performance, so you could hire him for that, recording and arrangement, soundtrack design, a music director and producer. These are all the different bands and things that he's done down here. And if you go over to this more menu, it's pretty cool because then you can also sign up for lessons. And you can also, he does graphic design as well. And you can contact him if you would like help with graphic design, which this is really cool. He's got examples of his work here. So these are some really neat examples of products, you know, or services that entrepreneurs have out there. One thing they've found with COVID is that has really changed the business environment. There's actually a lot more like new businesses popping up. Some other examples, I've got this Under 30 CEO website. I'll go ahead and click on that and share that screen with you. This here gives you some different ideas. 7 ways to earn money as a freelancer. There's some other different ideas and articles here as well. So just another place to look for ideas. Other examples of services people have, you know, made their own businesses with: cosmetology, dentist, counseling, accounting, legal services, tutoring, gardening. Those are all examples of things that people have done as their own business in the form of a service. So many of you hopefully are generating ideas now and thinking, wow, I never thought to make the idea that I'm really good at playing drums or the flute or guitar and make that into a business of offering music lessons. It doesn't have to be a business that's going to earn millions of dollars. It could just be a side business. Or, as I showed you the music website here, he gives the music lessons, but then he also provides all those other services regarding music and graphic arts as well. So those are some other examples. I also want to throw out there that there's those other mixed, I call them mixed services, where it's still got a product involved, such as selling eggs. I also had a student in the past that sold blackberry brambles. And so, you know, she had to grow the plant, but then she was sending a product to customers. You know, plant starts, that's another good one where, you know, you have blueberry plant starts or seeds or any of those types of things as well. So those are all examples. Many of you have different, you know, interests. My son is really interested in mountain biking and he likes to fix things. So he would like to open a bike store or a bike repair store. And, you know, maybe he's not going to do that right now, but he could write up a business plan and work towards that in the future. So hopefully you've got some great ideas here. Go ahead and post your ideas in the week 1 discussion. By the end of week 1, I hope that you will have a pretty firm hold on the idea you're going to use for your business plan throughout the term, because the first assignment does require you to write your business plan description or your company description for your business plan. Again, use that week 1 discussion to help out your fellow classmates in generating ideas and to post your ideas to get feedback on. And just some success factors to think about as you go through this process. You really want it to be something you're passionate about. You're going to be working on this throughout the term. Make it something that you enjoy, that you're passionate about, that you can be focused on, that you want to work hard on, that you're going to enjoy the journey. Trust your gut instinct on those things, and also be a little bit flexible. I know in the past, you know, I've had folks interested in opening a restaurant. Well, maybe you could be flexible in entertaining the idea of a food cart, maybe not just a food restaurant. You know, there's some flexibility that can be good in your business planning process too. And you'll see these other things, you know, are going to be success factors for an entrepreneur. You know, you're going to need to rely on your team, have integrity, give back to the community in your business venture. Those are all things you'll want to look to. So that is our business plan idea generation video that I wanted to show you. Hopefully you all have had a chance to share and think of some good ideas as we went through this video. If you have any questions or concerns or need help, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and ask any questions, or like I said, I can help you generate ideas as well.